Well, this week we're in Northeast Alabama. We got 3 hunts for you this week. First up is our good buddy Lamar Smith. He's never killed an eastern. We've had the dangest time getting him on one. He's killed a past little Rios, but this week we're trying to get him his first. Followed up with a good friend Steve McKeon and Dallas Poe, 3 eastern hunts in the heart of Dixie.
Turkey Hunter is brought to you by Browning, the best there is.
Well, we're gonna try to get Lamar his very first eastern first. And we head to a known area. Y'all seen us hunt here before. It's Lookout Creek Outfitters, a beautiful place. And Reno and Seth have been running cameras and been seeing gobblers all over this thing. And they know exactly where they want to take Lamar the very first morning.
All right, here in Alabama, Reno, appreciate the invitation.
No problem, glad to have you.
You got one tied by the leg so I can get it.
Got a string on it.
That's gonna be my first Eastern. Got plenty of Rios. I even got to marry them, but I don't have an Eastern yet. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's gonna happen this morning.
yeah, it ought to be a good morning. It's not too cold, but a little late in the season. Gonna have a little different strategy with no gobbler decoy. We're just gonna have the hens.
I think so. I think that's all we need to put out
The
there.
replica ought to draw one in for us. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I had to get up at 3 o'clock to get here, but it's worth it.
Well, they head to a high spot, and it's a crimson clover food plot. A beautiful spot, and there's a big elevation change. You know, it's like a big valley, and it rolls up onto some hardwoods. And this turkey has been coming here every day. So they find them a place to tuck in and see pretty good, and wait on day to break.
Birds over there, Reno. He's on the ground, guys. All right, you got his attention.
Well, as day breaks, there's 2 birds gobbling, and one's a little farther than the other one. And they're not very hot, you know, right at daybreak. But Seth gets his calls out, and he gets these birds working, and they start gobbling. And sure enough, the closer one, he starts progressing. Well, this bird is closing the distance. He's gobbling and he's coming. And sure enough, it's not long, and Seth can see this bird's fan and his head crest the rise. Now the grass is really tall, so all they can really see is his head and his fan. But he sees the decoys and he comes right to them.
There he is. There he is. Let's see. me win. Could that have worked out any better? What's so hard about these Easters?
You might go 20 years before you kill another one.
That was good. That was real good.
Not going to be strutting anymore.
Well, from getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come meet my buddy Reno and Seth on the camera, I was after my first Eastern. And look at here. I looked at him after I shot it and I said, what's so hard about these guys? A little bit of beginner's luck, I think. But we had a great morning. We had about 3 birds on the limb that were gobbling before they came down. This was the first one we think that came off.
Right.
And he gobbled for a while and gobbled for a while and then got on the ground. He kind of shut up, but he did let us know he was close a couple of times. We had a hen come through. And sure enough, Seth said, there he is. And I couldn't see him yet. But as soon as I saw the tip of this fan coming through that grass right there, I knew he was in trouble.
Yeah, it makes it worse. Getting up
It
at 3
does.
o'clock.
It does. It does. It was great. We had a good morning with multiple birds, and we knew we had a pretty good chance. And this one came on the way in, but something bothered him right there at the end. We couldn't let him play with the decoys very much because a hen up there started some type of commotion, and it wasn't a putt, but she just made some racket, and all of a sudden he threw his head up, and Seth said, "Kill him." And so it don't take long to kill him when Seth says to kill him. So, Reno, I really appreciate this. This is my first Eastern. Thank you very much.
First Eastern.
Like I said earlier, I said if you'll agree to come to Texas, I'll come to Alabama every now and then. We'll do some turkey hunting every year.
We can do that.
Well, Lamar ends up making a great shot, and just like that, he's got his very first Eastern. Well, it's not even mid-morning, and any turkey hunter knows it's just now getting good. So these guys load up and head to one of Reno's properties where he's been getting trail cam pictures of some more turkeys. So they ease up this hill to an island of trees, perfect place to set up, great vantage point. You can see good. They get the decoys out, get set up, everybody gets set up, and the first call, a bird answers him. Well, this bird is hot to trot. He is gobbling. But he's staying on this ridge. He's progressing, but he's progressing slowly. Well, finally, he gets to a point where they can see him. He pops out the edge. And he sees the decoys, but he just won't commit. Seth keeps pouring it to him. And finally, he starts progressing and he gets all the way to the 75-yard mark and he hangs up again. Well, after this bird hangs up at 75, they suspect he's a 2-year-old. He don't want to fight. Some 2-year-olds want to fight, some don't. He just happened to be one that didn't. Well, he starts easing off to the woods, still gobbling, mind you, and gets up into the woods and starts gobbling. He stayed there for about an hour and he's just gobbling, not progressing, just staying in one spot. And a lot of times when they do that, they're trying to gobble up a hen. Well, he ended up gobbling up a bunch of jakes. Well, when the jakes get there, they confirm their suspicion, and the jakes end up running him out of the country.
Turkey Hunter is also brought to you by Apex Competitions, Indian Creek Shooting Systems, Replica Decoy Company, Foot on the Head Game Calls, Grounded Brand Turkey Vests, Apex Ammunition, and Vortex Optics.
Enter the Apex Outdoor Rewards Turkey Challenge in your state. Over $120,000 in cash rewards. Limited number of entries allowed statewide. Every bird is a possible winner. Reward your passion at apexoutdoorrewards.com.
Well, a few days later, Reno heads back in of an afternoon to try the same setup to see if he can't kill his turkey.
I'm back at it again. I've been hunting this Tom for, I think this is the 4th time I've hunted him. I've seen him every time we've hunted, except for the first time. He was on the roost gobbling. When he got on the ground, he just hushed. The last 2 times I've seen him, he gobbled his brains out. We never could get in range for me to take a shot. But we've been seeing him here in the afternoon. So I came up today.
Well, Reno gets set up, he gets his decoys out, sets up, makes the first call, and this bird gobbles at him. Well, this bird comes out and sees the decoys and he starts progressing to them. But once again, he's going to skirt them. He's a 2-year-old, and a lot of times that's what they do. And he goes to skirt them decoys, but this time he did it a little too close.
I gotta go get him. Went out this afternoon and hunted this Tom and got him. It's about time. I've hunted him 3 different times. I don't know how many times he gobbled, but I guarantee you, counting today and the other 3 times I hunted him, I've probably heard him gobble 1,000 times. It's absolutely amazing. But I've got him. He's a good 2-year-old, and it took a lot of time, but it's worth it now.
Well, now we're going to head to a different piece of property with our good buddy Dallas Poe. Him and Seth are going to get after some birds on an early morning hunt on one of Dallas's pieces of property. Been seeing a lot of birds on. They're itching to get after them. Well, Dallas and Seth get set up. They set up on the edge of this field, birds roosted in front of them. They kind of know what they have been doing. Well, it breaks day and these birds start gobbling, and sure enough, they're right where they wanted them. Seth starts calling to them and they get to gobbling at him. Sure enough, they hit the ground and they start progressing to him. Well, these birds are progressing, and they're coming closer and closer where they end up swinging wide to their left. And they pop up to their left just on the edge of the hill. And sure enough, they got a hen with them. Well, at this point, all Dallas and Seth can do is hope that they eventually see the decoy and hope they'll maybe come close enough for a shot. Well, the plan works to a T, and one of the birds gets to a point where he can finally see the decoys and starts progressing to him. He's taking his sweet time, but he finally gets to a point where he's in range of that Maxis too, and Dallas decides to take the shot.
Did I get it? Yes, you did. Good shot. Let's go look at this bird. Yes, sir.
Nice 2-year-old bird.
That explains a lot. All right, buddy. Well, we had an incredible morning today, wouldn't you say?
We did. Perfect morning, actually, in the turkey woods.
I love it. That's all it's all about. I didn't think it was going to happen for a minute there, but we had the right setup. You know, last year we were set up right over there in this privet and these
Not too far
rocks.
from here at all, yeah.
And so there's been 3 birds roosting right near this pond all year long. We saw them earlier in this, a week or two ago.
Yeah, it's about a week ago. They were strutting right in here, close to where we're sitting.
We decided we're going to make it happen today. It seems like we always hunt when it's cold.
We do. Something about me and you in cold weather.
This morning you can see the frost still on the ground, and my truck said 32, but it's probably a little warmer than that.
It was calm, and man, the woods were on fire.
I know. But when they started rolling, one of them, the dominant bird, was right here, probably 150.
Oh, close.
Then the other 2 were way down deep. And well, when they decided to come down, they hit the ground. They were coming this way. They're trying to get to this big field.
Yeah. There's an ag field back here, and
listen to them rolling.
they're actually a couple gobbling over there now.
But when they hit the ground, I started talking to them, and they answered. One of them gobbled down here in this bottom. And I was like, man, he's coming. And it wasn't in 5 minutes.
Oh, he was drumming.
Yeah, and he walked up behind us, and I said, I hear one drumming. And I know the camera can't see it, but he was 15 steps.
Yeah.
from us.
Oh, yeah. Close.
And he kind of got right there and looked where the hen sounds were coming from and didn't see much. Then he saw these decoys out here and didn't like that either.
He wasn't sure about it. Yeah, he is.
But
I'm glad you made the call, though.
Yeah,
I was about to let him walk off on us.
Well, I tell you what saved us was that old boss hen. I made her mad. Started mimicking
She was
her,
mad.
and she walked up in her lap. She was about to put her beak in your gun barrel there, but she got out right in front of us. She went to the decoys, and that's what got these 2 strutters. And he walked out here. Now that I look at it, you're probably about 40, to be honest with you, from where we were, which was a perfect
That's perfect.
shot.
That is.
And they were not coming to those decoys. And I thought, well, these birds are older than their decoy shot. Well, it turns out he's a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
probably getting his butt whipped
Yeah,
a lot.
a little intimidated, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? A 2-year-old, a hard gobbling 2-year-old like we hunted this morning is
Fun.
those are fun.
That's a fun hunt.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
I love it.
Love it.
You know what? We got time to go chase another. How
Let's
about
go hit another spot.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Well, there's 3 great hunts in the heart of Dixie. Northeast Alabama is one of our favorite places to hunt.